We now go to video number 17, example 3. Now I'm going to take an example on this subtopic. That is a situation where a circle is passing through 3 points. You are given the coordinate of 3 points on the circumference of the circle. We can find the equation of that circle. In other words, given the coordinate of 3 points on the circumference of a circle, we can determine the equation of that circle. So which is the same thing as saying, if a circle is passing through 3 given points, we can determine the equation of a circle. That the circle is passing through 3 points means that the 3 points lie on the circumference of that circle. So like in this question now, find the equation of the circle passing through the points 3, 4, 0, 5, and 4 minus 3. So what we do here is to, first of all, sketch a circle. We sketch a circle. Sketch a circle and indicate the 3 points on the circumference of the circle. So take this to be the circle, just a rough sketch. Now, let the first point, I can name it, I will name it as point A. Let the first given point, 3, 4, be point A. Then let the second point be point B with coordinate 0, 5. Then the third point be, let me call it point D, because I'm going to call center C. Let the third point be D, 0, or let me still call it C, so that you will not be confused. Let me call the third point C with coordinate 4 minus 3. So this is the first step. I have drawn the circle. I have indicated the 3 given points with their coordinates. The next thing now is to draw chords to join at least 2 chords. Join at least 2 chords. So in order not to waste time, we are not going to draw more than 2 chords. I'll draw the first chord to join points A and B, to join 2 points A and B. So that is the first chord, called AB. I will draw another chord, maybe AC or BC. I'll draw the second chord to join another set of 2 points. So in this case, I'm drawing the second point is joining chord, is joining points A and C. So these are the 2 chords, chord AB and chord AC. Now, then let there be center, the center of the circle. Let it be point, maybe D for instance, or either O or D. I can use O to be the center of the circle, center O. So the next step now is to draw a perpendicular bisector of this chord AB to pass through that center. I draw a perpendicular bisector of this chord AB to pass through that center O. So if this line passing through center O is a perpendicular bisector, it means it is dividing this chord AB at right angle. That is why it is a perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector in the sense that this will be the midpoint. This to be perpendicular is the midpoint. Call it midpoint M1. Now, I draw the second perpendicular bisector. I draw another perpendicular bisector of chord AC to pass through the same center O. So I draw another perpendicular bisector passing through that same center O of the circle. So this is also at right angle. Then this second foot of the perpendicular, I call it M2. So, now, my target now is to determine the coordinate of this center O of the circle. If I can determine the coordinate of this center O, I will be able to find the radius OA or OC or OB. These are the two things I need to determine the equation of that circle. If I know the coordinate of this center O, and I know the radius OA or OB or OC, I can now use the basic form of the equation of a circle to determine the equation of this very circle. So the first thing I do is to determine the midpoint using the midpoint formula. Midpoint M1. I want to determine the midpoint of that midpoint M1 using the midpoint formula. So using the midpoint formula now, using the midpoint formula, I have x equals half into, I use the coordinate of A and B here to determine the midpoint of M1. Half into 3 plus 0. And that will be 3 over 2. That will be 10. Then the y coordinate of that midpoint will be half into 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5, which is equal to 9 over 2. Therefore, midpoint M1 now in coordinate form is equal to 3 over 2, 9 over 2. This is the first midpoint. I use the same midpoint formula to determine midpoint M2. Now, the x coordinates of the second midpoint M2 will be half into, so this is the second midpoint M2. That's 3 plus 4. 3 plus half into 3 plus 4, which is equal to 7 over 2. Then the y coordinate is half into 4 plus minus 3. That will be 4 plus minus 3. And that will be half into, plus minus is minus, half into. So y is equal to 4 minus 3. That is 1. Half of 1 is half. So in coordinate form, I have midpoint M2 in coordinate form. Midpoint M2 will be 7 over 2 half. Now, I've gotten the midpoint. The next thing now is to determine the slope of AB. If I know the slope of AB, I will be able to know the slope of this perpendicular bisector OM1. Slope of AB. Slope of chord AB. Slope of chord AB. Using the formula for the slope. Slope of chord AB, that will be 5 minus 4. That will be 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 over 5 minus 4 over 0 minus 3. Over 0 minus 3. And that will be minus 1/3. 5 minus 4 over 0 minus 3. That will be minus 1/3. Therefore, slope of the perpendicular. This is the symbol of the word perpendicular. Slope of the perpendicular bisector OM1 now will be the negative reciprocal of the slope of the chord. That's minus 1 over minus 1/3. Minus will cancel, and that will be 3. 3 over 1. 3 over 1, which is 3. That is the slope of the perpendicular bisector. So without wasting time, I can now determine that. So now, using the point slope form, of the equation of a straight line, which we did under straight line equation, using the point slope form, the equation of the perpendicular bisector OM1 through the point OM1, through the point M1 is y minus y1. y1 in this case is half. Y minus half is equals to m into x minus x1. M in this case is 3 into x minus x1. x1 in this case is 7 over 2. So, continuing from there, continue the question.
Yes.
So, continue from there, I have, let me repeat that one. Y minus half is equals to 3 into x minus 7 over 2. So, I can, okay, y minus half is equals to 3x minus 21 over 2. Now I can clear the fraction. Multiply 2 out by 2. Multiply 2 by 2. So I have 2y minus 1 equals to 6x minus 21. By clearing the fraction. Yes. Let me go over it again. Multiplying each and every time by 2, I have 2y minus 1 is equal to 6x minus 21. Yes, it's correct. So, now, this is 2y is equal to 6x minus 21. Take this minus 1 across, plus 1. So, I have 2y is equal to 6x minus 20. Minus 20. This is the equation of that perpendicular bisector. Now, that's the equation of this perpendicular bisector. I can call this one equation 1 for reference. Continue this side. Reference. Yes. So, yes. Then I can also, I already have the coordinate of, the next thing now is also determine the slope of the second chord. Slope of the second chord. Slope of AC. Slope of the chord AC is equal to slope of the chord AC, right? Minus 3 minus 4. Minus 3 minus 4. 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3. So that will be equals to minus 7 over 1, which is equals to, that is equals to minus 7. That is equals to minus 7. Therefore, slope of the perpendicular, this is the symbol of perpendicular once again. Slope of the perpendicular bisector OM2 is equals to minus 1 over minus 7, and that is 1 over 7. Now, I can now determine the equation of the perpendicular bisection. Therefore, equation of the perpendicular bisector OM2 through the point M2 through the midpoint M2 through the midpoint M2, 7 over 2 half is y minus half is equals to m in this case is 1 over 7. 1 over 7 into x minus x2. x2 in this case is 7 over 2. So, it means y minus half is equals to x over 7 minus 1 over 7 times 7 over 2 minus 7 over 14. Minus 7 over 14, yes. So, it means y minus half is equals to x over 7 minus half. Now, clearing the fraction, the LCM in this case is 14. Multiplying through by 14, I have 14y, yes, 14y minus 7 is equals to 2x minus 7. I think so, yes. Yes, so take minus 7 across. 14y is equals to 2x minus 7 plus 7. So minus 7 cancel 7. I have 14y is equals to 2x. Equals to 2x. So I can make x the subject of the formula. Therefore, x is equals to 7y. X is equals to 7y, yes. So I can solve this one equation 2. Now, I can solve the two equations simultaneously. I can solve the two equations simultaneously. Solving equations 1 and 2 simultaneously. I have now, you all know how to solve simultaneous equation. Wherever I see x, I write 7y in equation 1. So I will have 2y is equals to 6 into, in place of x, I write 7y minus 20. Yes, minus 20. So I have 2y is equals to 42y. Is equals to 42y minus 20. Take this one across. So I have 2y minus 42y is equals to minus 20. 2y minus 42y is minus 40y. Minus 40y is equals to minus 20. Therefore, y equals minus 20 over minus 40. And that will be half. Y is half. So, substitute substitute for y in equation 2. My equation 2 is x equals 7y. So I have, in equation 2, so I have x is equals to 7 into half, which is 7 over 2. Therefore, center O is equals to the coordinate form 7 over 2, comma, half. So these are my coordinates. These are my coordinates for the center. Now, having known the center coordinates, I can now determine the radius. So this is my center O is 7 over 2, comma, half. So now, OA is the radius of the circle, or OB, or I've earlier told you that any line drawn from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference of that circle is the radius. So in this case, OA is the radius, OC is also the radius, OB is also the radius. So I can now find either OA or OB. So I continue from here. So, using the basic form now, using the basic form of the equation, of a circle, I have x minus a. A in this case is 7 over 2. X minus 7 over 2 all square plus y minus b. B in this case is half. Y minus half all square is equals to the radius square. Have I found the radius? I have not found the radius. Okay. It's equals to r square. Let me call this one equation 3 for reference. Since I've not found the radius on that, but I can now find the radius. Now, radius r is equals to OA. Using the distance formula. That would be 7 over 2 minus 3. 7 over 2 minus 3 square plus 7 over 2 minus 3 square plus half minus 4. Half minus 4 all square. So this means that OA is equal to the root of 7 over 2 minus 3. 7 over 2 is 3.5. 3.5 minus 3 is half. Half square plus half minus 4 is minus 3.5. Yes, that is minus 3.5 all square. Yes, I think it's okay, yes. So, this is equal to the root of half square is 1/4 plus, this is minus 7 over 2, is it not?
Yes.
Minus 7 over 2 square. So, this is equal to the root of 1/4 plus 49 over 4. Yes, plus 49 over 4. Plus 49 over 4. So this is equals to the root of the LCM here is 4. So this is 1 plus 49 over 4. Therefore, OA is equals to R is equals to the root of 1 plus 49 is 50. 50 over 4. The root of 50 over 4. So, this is the root of 50. using your knowledge of sum, the root of 40, the root of 50 over the root of 4. And that is the root of 50 over 2. The root of 50 over 2. So that is the radius. That is the radius. So further simplify that to be the root of 25 times 2 all over 2. Therefore, my radius now, that is 5 root 2 over 2 units. 5 root 2 units over 2. So this is my radius. Now, I'm now in a position to find the equation of the circle. Find the equation of the circle. Now, therefore, equation of the circle, or I can even, since I already had the equation of the circle in equation 3, I'll simply substitute. I can substitute for the radius. Hence, substituting for radius R in equation 3, I have in equation 3 I have x minus 7 over 2 square plus y minus half square is equals to r square. And my r in this case is 5 sub 2 over 2 all square. Yes. i.e. x minus 7 over 2 square plus y minus half square is equals to, yes, 5 square is 25 times 2, 50 over 4. Now, expanding, I have x square minus 2 of this, so 7x, yes, 7x plus 49 over 4 plus y square, then 2 of this, that will be minus y plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is equals to 50 over 4. Now, the next thing now is to clear the fraction. To get rid of that fraction, I multiply 2 by 4. Multiply 2 by 4. So if I do that, I have, okay, first of all, let me collect the terms to the highest power. X square minus 7x plus, I want to collect the terms with the highest power. So, writing the terms with the highest power, I have x squared plus y squared minus 7x minus y plus 49 over 4 plus 1/4 minus 50 over 4 is equals to 0. Yes. So the next thing now is to multiply 12 by 4. Multiplying 12 by 4, I have 4x squared plus 4y squared minus 28x, yes, minus 7x times 4, that is minus 28x, minus 4y plus 49 plus 1 minus 50 is equals to 0. 49 plus 1 is 50. So I have 4x squared plus 4y squared minus 28x minus 4y is equals to 0. Because 49 plus 1 is 50. 50 minus 50 is 0. It's equals to 0. This is my equation of the circle. That is the required equation of the circle. I think it can be further simplified, yes? It can be further simplified by dividing through by 4. It can be further simplified by dividing through by 4. Dividing through by 4, I have x squared plus y squared minus 7x minus y is equals to 0. Yes. Always make sure your equation is in prime form, right? So the lowest step. That is the required equation of the circle.